2022, when the world's most popular password manager was hacked, the company told its 33 million users not to panic. They promised that the stolen data was heavily encrypted, master passwords were secure, and your digital life was perfectly safe. That reassurance was incorrect. By December 2025, attackers had cracked enough of those stolen vaults to drain $438 million in cryptocurrency directly from user accounts. Chris Larson, the co-founder of Ripple, stands as the most high-profile casualty. Attackers breached his specific LastPass vault and emptied his accounts of $150 million in a single targeted strike. Because Larson helped build Ripple, this breach gave attackers a direct pipeline into the digital pockets of a top-tier tech executive who assumed his assets were locked down. These thefts are documented facts. Federal court filings from the FBI and Secret Service explicitly trace these ongoing financial losses directly back to the original compromised LastPass vaults. The gap between marketing claims and stolen millions proves that encryption is a variable equation. LastPass simply failed to set those variables high enough to stop a modern attacker. The collapse happened in stages. In August 2022, attackers compromised a developer's account, stealing source code and technical documentation. This gave them the complete architectural blueprint of the platform. Armed with that map, they struck again in November. They targeted a senior engineer's home computer, using a keylogger on a Plex media server to capture his credentials and access the company's internal cloud storage. Here is where the architecture failed completely. While the passwords inside the backups were encrypted, the website URLs were stored in plain text. Attackers simply scanned the backups, identified the vaults containing links to cryptocurrency exchanges, and downloaded them for cracking. And those structural weaknesses are still an issue today. In February 2026, security researchers at ETH Zurich published findings showing that the platform's zero-knowledge architecture can still be bypassed if the server is compromised. A centralized cloud manager without verifiable zero-knowledge architecture becomes a treasure map the moment its servers are breached, pointing attackers directly to your most valuable accounts. This diagram illustrates how the vaults are actually being opened. Encryption relies on iterations, the number of times a mathematical function scrambles your password to create the actual key. LastPass left many legacy users on outdated settings, sometimes as low as 500 iterations. For context, the current baseline security standard is 600,000. Because the hackers downloaded the vaults to their own servers, they can run modern GPU hardware to test millions of password combinations per second. With a low iteration count, they can crack accounts in hours without triggering a single security alarm. This risk often leads people to consider writing passwords in a physical notebook. Avoid that. Relying on your memory or a piece of paper inevitably leads to password reuse, which results in account breaches through standard credential stuffing. Ultimately, most of these breaches were the result of running outdated security math inside a centralized cloud environment. The servers aren't the only target. Researchers at DEF CON 33 recently highlighted that the most active battleground for your credentials is right inside your own web browser. They demonstrated DOM-based clickjacking against browser extensions. A malicious website can invisibly overlay its interface on top of your browser, tricking your extension into handing over your vault data with a single accidental click. Attackers are also exploiting trust in major platforms. A cybercriminal successfully published a fake password manager on the Apple App Store, passing Apple's review process. Users downloaded what they thought was official software and typed their master passwords directly into a hacker's database. Then there is the human element. A short dictionary word combined with low iteration settings allows an attacker to crack a vault offline in a matter of hours. While massive server breaches generate headlines, your daily browsing hygiene and your master password's entropy dictate if your vault holds up. This table breaks down the 3 viable alternatives on the market today. Choosing between them requires weighing the trade-off between cloud sync convenience and absolute local control. Bitwarden's code is fully open source and publicly auditable. It uses AES 256 encryption with 600,000 iterations by default, and for individual users, it costs nothing. 1Password uses a secret key system. Even if their servers are completely breached, The stolen data is mathematically useless without a physical 34-character key that never leaves your personal devices. KeePass XD removes the cloud entirely. Your database is stored strictly on your local hardware, which prevents cloud breaches at the cost of manual backups and zero automatic device syncing. Regardless of the tool, your primary defense is your master password. Using a long 5-word random passphrase provides the mathematical entropy needed to stall an offline cracking attempt indefinitely. The safest password managers on the market earn trust through verifiable architectural safeguards and zero breach track records. If you used LastPass before 2022, you should assume your vault is in criminal hands. Change every single password stored in that database immediately, prioritizing your email and banking accounts. Second, remove all cryptocurrency seed phrases from cloud-synced managers. Move them to physical paper or a dedicated hardware wallet today. Third, replace your current master password with a truly random 5-word passphrase. This drastically increases the math required to crack your vault if it ever falls into the wrong hands. Fourth, enable app-based 2-factor authentication on the password manager account itself. This adds a physical hardware requirement, your phone, before anyone can access your credentials. Fifth, download your password manager directly from the official developer website to avoid installing malicious clones found in search results. Finally, begin replacing your critical passwords with passkeys wherever supported. This removes those accounts from the password threat model, neutralizing phishing and cracking attempts. Migrating to a technically superior software tool is only effective if you have the personal discipline to configure it correctly. This decision tree maps your next move. For most users, Bitwarden is the frictionless, zero-cost path to open-source architecture. For high-value assets, 1Password's secret key system provides structural advantages against server breaches. Feeling overwhelmed? Any properly configured manager is significantly safer than human memory. We are entering a transition period. Passkeys are quickly becoming the standard, and they represent a passwordless future that will eventually make these managers obsolete. Put a free PDF security checklist in the description to help you execute these changes. Grab that and drop a comment letting me know how your current vault is set up.